Hello, everybody. Welcome. We're back.
Hello,
How you doing tonight? How you guys all doing? Welcome back and welcome to the Seekers Chronicles Paranormal Historians. I was about to mess that one up. Where the history meets the paranormal. How you guys doing?
Hey there.
Everything good?
Yeah.
Good?
All
You
good.
guys good? Okay,
All
thank
good.
you. Show's over. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So
How's
And
everyone
you-
doing in the chat?
the
Everybody
chat,
good out there?
we got the chat going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adam's there. Hello, Atom.
Nice to see everybody.
MJB. We got a lot of,
Yeah.
a lot of our
Melissa.
people.
Al's here.
Al. Well, that's good. I'm glad everybody shows.
Wow.
It shows that we are doing something people like. I don't know.
I don't know.
We have fun. We have fun. Oops, sorry.
Hi,
We have
Kim.
fun.
Yeah.
Good. Great.
I mean,
Doing good. Everybody, look at this. Good. Hearts all around. Love it.
everybody loves Kim.
Yeah, she's the fan favorite.
Doing good. Hey, we're all doing good. Hey, we're all hanging out. So
Can we
She's
talk
a fan
about your
favorite.
t-shirts right now?
Yeah, I know.
yeah, we didn't do this on purpose.
Can we talk about the fact that we didn't plan this?
Did not plan this.
It's so us, right?
I couldn't find
like-
my what do you call it? Seekers Chronicles shirt. So I thought I have this one, and so I threw this on, and that was it. So, Jenny, I know you did something this weekend. You do something every weekend.
Why is it always me?
You're the
I did. Of course I did.
paranormal. What are you? You go everywhere. I don't know. The traveler.
That's funny. No, you always know that I'm going to investigate. Yeah, I did. I participated in the Strangest Things event at Morris County at Speedwell Mansion at Morris County Parks Commission with Richard Moschella, our good friend, and we had crazy activity, like completely unexpected, wonderful activity, and everybody was like, "Oh, it was so good." It was like you could have faked it, but we didn't. It was so active.
Which room were you guys in?
We were at the in the Vale House in the office kind of area,
Yeah.
like the first floor, like that parlor / office, and with the sofa. And oh my goodness, I mean, it was like a good old fashioned haunting, guys. It was like bangs and voices and footsteps and yeah, like right on, craziness.
Was it by the piano? The piano area?
No, the other room.
No, the other room.
The other room,
Yeah.
when you first come in, you go
Yeah.
past the piano to get to it? Or like if you come through the front of the house, it's on the right-hand side. Next to the
You
stairs?
go through the front on the right-hand side.
Yeah,
Correct.
on the right-hand side.
Yeah,
Okay,
it was really cool. And we had a really cool phenomenon in that it was the voices on the recorder were naming people like Rich
Wow.
and Nicholas, like someone there named Nicholas, like instead of, other things. It was actually saying
That was
people's
pretty cool.
names.
Yeah, interacting.
Yeah.
Wanting to interact that day.
Super. They do a great job. They had pumpkin carving and all this and costumes. And I love that kind of stuff at Halloween. You got to love it.
Mm. Yeah.
Anyway,
Halloween. And
Yeah,
you
I
had a
can't
party.
wait.
I did. Had my Halloween
Yes.
party, annual Halloween party. Oh my gosh, still recovering.
Oh, I should have took some of those pictures and show them with you in your Ghostbusters outfit.
I know. Everyone's like, "You've never been a Ghostbuster." I was like, "It's a little on the nose, but okay, let's do it." Finally.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. And this weekend, Kim, I know
Yeah,
you
Kim,
like
what'd
me.
you
You
do?
didn't do nothing this weekend. You didn't
Oh,
do nothing.
nothing. No. Did I do
Yeah.
anything? I don't think I did. Did I? I
Did
don't
you
remember.
work?
I worked.
Oh,
Okay.
well, that's not
You
nothing.
did something.
That's not nothing.
I was like, wait, did I do anything else? I'm like, I don't think I did.
No, but this weekend we got a big weekend coming, guys.
We
The
do.
Hoover House.
Yeah, it is. Well, yes, and Halloween.
Halloween. Are you going to be there for Halloween night or no? With us?
No, I'm
Yeah.
having my own Halloween party at my house.
Oh, okay.
I've
What are you
Okay.
going as me?
never had. Well, you're not even going to be here, but you. If
No,
you
no,
like
you're gonna go
spirit,
as
you're
me?
more than
No,
welcome
how-
to come in spirit.
No.
Are you going to dress up as Anthony? I did.
like
anybody
me.
who's watching, is we gonna actually no, but I have dressed up as a Ghostbuster after the women Ghostbuster movie,
Yeah, yeah.
and then Kyle was Chris Helmsworth.
Oh my gosh, I love
He
it.
wishes. We all do, guys. You wouldn't
Oh,
go crazy
good.
over us then. But
I love it.
that's awesome. Yeah, but this weekend, Halloween night,
Chris.
what do you call it? Me and Jenny will be at the Hoover House. It's called the 1912, the historic 1912 Hoover House.
Mhm.
It's
Right.
in Waynesboro, Pennsylvania. We're going to be out there investigating that night. Next day, we got the Para Jam at in Gettysburg at the orphanage. They're having the Para Jam, which is pretty cool. I thought it was a very cool concept because it's paranormal and music. They're gonna have live
Yeah.
bands playing, which I thought is really cool. 'Cause both things I like, being a drummer, and then we're going back to the Hoover House to do investigation, and we're going to meet up with Kim. Who's going to be there? That's Chad. I don't know. I'm bad with last names. You know that.
Chad and Jamie, right?
Chad, Jamie, and
Um,
Alex, Chad's son. Giuseppe.
Yeah.
Giuseppe's going to be there with
And-
his girlfriend and
Christina
Dana.
Westervelt's coming with us.
Christina's going to be there. So we're going to have a nice little group there. That's going to be awesome. And then the next day, we're promised, it's because of B&B, we're promised a nice breakfast for Sunday morning, which I'm looking forward
He's
to.
already thinking about breakfast.
I'm thinking about
guys.
breakfast. You kidding me? I'm always like, well, you can tell you're Italian when you're on breakfast and you're talking what's going to be for dinner.
Oh yeah,
You're Italian?
that's me. That is me to a T.
Yeah.
Literally,
It's
I'm
like,
on
hey, what are we
bread.
going to eat tonight? You're munching on whatever you're eating.
Oh yeah.
I love
You know?
it.
It's
At
like,
breakfast,
hey,
you talk about lunch. At lunch, you talk about dinner.
No, we got to talk about
Yes.
food. Food is the main thing. Yeah, well, that's another genre. I like
3 out of 5.
paranormal. I like
Hey,
food.
guys.
Isn't food a genre?
Paranormal and food. Oh, that sounds pretty good.
Paranormal.
But this is
I
going
love
to
it.
be my first week. This is going to be my first time in Gettysburg. So I'm really excited. I'm really looking forward to it. Can't wait. I'm already freaking out. So good.
Yeah.
Let us know if you have any visit
Yes,
experiences.
I will. Because I
You
often
two
will
mine
dream
already.
about them before I get there. I often will dream
that.
about the locations, and I'll also very detailed messages, dates, names, people. So we'll see.
Cool.
I'm open to
Yeah,
that.
I can't
I'm open
wait.
to see
Mhm.
what comes through for that.
Yeah, you see what I sent you guys already. I had mine
Yep.
Yeah.
with that
Cool-looking
guy.
guy.
And I'm sorry I sent it because I didn't want it. I forgot all about not sending it to you, Kim. But it doesn't matter
No.
Well,
because
I
you
think
don't
I
like
got
to
it.
know. But the whole thing is, I sent it to them. They have no idea. I sent it to Pam and Steve also.
Oh,
They have no idea who
really?
it is. And Pam said she's going to ask Steve if he knows anybody. So
Make sure we
Nice.
use that in our investigation. Anyway,
Yeah.
guys,
Yeah.
tonight is,
So-
by the way, double nickel tonight. 55, episode 55.
who's 55?
double nickel. Number
It's
of
episode 55 tonight.
transformation.
Oh, us. Oh, yeah.
Just bringing it back.
Those nickels.
Yes. And we have a great
We
guest
have a guest.
tonight.
Yes.
We have a good guest tonight.
We have,
really.
yeah. I mean, I met him. Mike King introduced me to him. Mike King, he's the chief of police in was it Ghost of Morgantown? Shepherd. What am I? Shepherdstown, I think it's called.
Yes.
And Ghost of Shepherdstown. And I asked him to be on the show and he couldn't do it. And he goes, I got somebody for you. Dragged me across. We were at Gettysburg at the time at the Bash. Dragged me across the whole building to the other building, and he introduced me to this guy. I'm like, if Mike says he's good, got to be good. You know what I'm saying? We got to have him.
Yep.
So we booked him, and so he's here tonight, and I think it's pretty cool. And Jenny, you can have the honors.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. We've kept him waiting long enough. He is the founder and lead investigator at Elite Paranormal Society, and his name is Robert Murphy. Welcome, Robert.
Hey, thank you
What's
very
up?
much. Appreciate it.
Hi, Robert. Welcome.
We don't do big long introductions. We let that develop over the show.
I love it.
You
Love
can
it.
tell us all about it.
Yeah.
Let's
So,
get you in here.
yeah,
Appreciate that.
like I said, Mike King introduced me to you, so it's like, hey,
Yeah,
anybody's
Mike is
friends with
great.
Mike is friends with me. You know what I'm saying?
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Mike is one of those guys that I have the most respect for in the field. By all, as busy as he is with Shepherdstown and whatnot, as far as on the police side of it, and then yet he still, lends plenty of time to our field. I think it's great.
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny because couple years he acts because he doesn't live far. I mean, he's in Maryland. But he says he's not that far. He drives his motorcycle there. I see him showing up in the morning with his motorcycle. I'm like, where did you just come from? I just drove like 100 miles here. I'm like, this early in the morning? Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
great.
he rides on his bike. So yeah, Mike's a good guy. He's matter of fact, I was telling Robert that he's the one. Mike actually introduced me to the Gettysburg Bash. He's the one that told me about it, and I went to
never knew that.
the first one, and then the second one. That's when I started being involved in it. With my equipment and stuff. Yeah, so that's
Which
yeah.
in turn now you're going to be at the Hoover House, which is theirs. So that's fantastic.
yeah.
Right.
So yeah, it's
Wow,
like a full circle.
Yeah, full circle.
That's one
we
thing
were-
about this field. We become friends. I mean, there's so many good people in this field that you meet and you stay friendly with, and you see them at events and everything. And hey, how you doing? And it's good. I really enjoy this field.
It is refreshing in that sense because, we're all so busy nowadays, we kind of go our own ways or whatnot, but we constantly are crossing paths with one another. And it doesn't matter how much time's been in between. We always have something to talk about.
Yes.
And it's exciting. It's kind of nice to be able to share with other people or, that are in the field as well, have the same interests. So,
Yeah.
and as you said, now with like the last location we were at up in Maine, I believe it was the Maine Paracon.
The main Paracon and horror.
Amazing. But having the horror in with the paranormal, and there were so many people that were, they would see our equipment, they would see your drawings, paintings, and they would be drawn to it, and then they start asking the questions. So you start, you start going ahead and breaking down those little barriers where people kind of felt like they had to be on the outside.
Yeah, that's right. And these Paracons are starting to, like I said, this one was paranormal and horror. And the one we just did, Jenny and I, matter of fact, we accidentally wore the same shirt tonight, but it was a Paracon and a film fest. So it had the film fest with all the horror and then that. So I thought that was pretty cool too. What's up?
Yeah,
Jenny.
we have such good audience tonight. It was a film festival below in the bottom floor in the basement and a Paracon above. And
That's cool.
Speaking of that, our documentary is coming out this week, Kim.
Ooh.
I'm not in that one.
excited
These
to see
two.
that.
No.
When is it coming out? Come on. What's the date?
We'll let you know. It's coming out this
I don't
Giving
even
everybody
know. I
hanging.
have no idea,
Yeah,
Robert.
we'll definitely. We'll let you know. It was exciting. They showed a trailer for it at the Paracon, but it's not
Cool.
about me. It's about you, Robert. So
Yes.
you're going to get the question. You're going to get the question that everybody asks.
Bring it on.
How did you get here? That's what I like to ask. How did you
How
get
did you
here?
start with the paranormal? I mean, we all have our stories of seeing something and everything, but everybody's different.
It's kind of really wild because I have three other brothers. Two are older and one is younger. And it's like everybody's got a different take on it. We've moved to several different houses growing up until the very last house before when I was in high school, middle school and high school. So my last brother was just basically at that house. And the other two brothers, I mean, we moved a lot. And the activity that was at all these different locations is kind of strange. But for me, it's kind of desensitizing where it wasn't like it was just, if you have one jump scare, it's bad enough, you'll jump to it or anything. But after a while, if things keep jumping out, you kind of go, okay, whatever, that's cool.
Yeah.
And so in high school, it was pretty much what lit everything on fire, my interest in it. I lived 5 houses up from the high school, which was really cool. So I could always walk. I always walked back and forth to school. And if my friends stopped by before I got there or something, or if I was out and somebody stopped by, they'd wait for me in my room. No big deal. One night I came home, though, it was from a dance, and my mom says, you got a visitor in your room. I was like, okay, who is it? She's like, and she, at this point, she wasn't a Bible thumper, but she just was the type that would read the Bible every night, didn't drink, didn't curse, didn't do anything. Boy, have things changed. But she's like, no, I don't think it's, I don't think it's a person, it's something else, and I ain't going up there to find out. And her and my brother, my little brother, stayed sitting on the couch where they could just watch ahead of them. They were scared all night until I got home. So I go up there, and to me it was cool. It's on the second floor. The second floor is elongated, and you have the eave of the house that slopes down. So my bed is on one side of the room, and my dresser is on the other side of the room. Including that night, and for a week straight, everything that got put on this wall over here by the dresser, when I would come back to my room, it would all be busted up against the drywall on this side.
Oh my God.
Wow.
It was so cool. I just wanted to see it, because it's like, there's nobody doing it. I mean, I knew it wasn't my little brother, and I knew obviously it wasn't my mother, but the idea that could happen, I mean, to me, that was just fascinating. I've always been I've hunted almost all my life. So I've been in the woods ever since I was very young, when it's dark and whatnot. I'm very comfortable with it. So to me, it was just another aspect of taking things away from where we're led to believe what can't happen. And then all of a sudden here at 18, what can't happen is absolutely happening, And I've got one brother that will absolutely sleep with a nightlight every night and cannot talk about ghosts, spirits, or anything else. He's just ain't gonna have nothing to do with it. Another brother, I keep trying to get him out in the field, and he's like, yeah, no, it ain't happening. And my other brother just stays kind of distant. He'll send me a book every once in a while on how to ghost hunt or something. And hey, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
As close as I'll get.
Yeah, that's about it. I appreciate the fact that he knows me so well. He's got to send me books on how to do it. I appreciate that.
Just in case.
So
I'm sure it's a good intent. What's that?
Did they all have experiences in the house? Yeah.
Everybody's had experiences. The neat part with that house in particular, for 2 weeks straight, for a while, I was a manager of a fast food pizza place. And I would come home, and my family was the type that everybody would sit and watch like Dukes of Hazzard or something. You just get home and everybody's sitting in the living room watching TV. And I came home and I went into the kitchen, and this little gray blur starts going around basically at the bottom of the cabinet. And it's like, I chase it to a corner, and it's like, it's not there. I'm from the country. I know about rats. I know about mice, the whole 9 yards. And it's like, okay, this doesn't make any sense. It's just gone. So I came out, I said, hey, did somebody just get a kitten or something? I mean, I'm tired. I know that, but my God, this thing is fast. And everybody starts laughing because everybody's already seen it. We have it for 2 weeks straight. Well, about 10 years later, after we've moved out, other people have moved in and whatnot, we were renting at the time. A friend of ours that knew the family was there knew about the past history. And he's like, yeah, they just want to know, what is that little gray thing that keeps shooting around the baseboards and around the radiators and stuff? So it was cool that here it is happening again.
Yeah. This is
And
sounds
everyone's
very
describing it the
interesting.
same way.
What's that?
Yeah. Go ahead, Jenny.
Oh, I was just saying, I'm always interested when people describe it the same way. Like you said, the little gray thing. Everybody's calling it the little gray thing. That's interesting.
Nobody could make out details of it. It was still that gray little blur that was going. It was so cool because it was still in the same area. It was fantastic. But,
and are you still associated with this property, or is this
no,
a house?
No.
And
yeah, that was just one of those fun ones in the past.
Where was it?
That one was actually in Maryland. It's in Ashton, Maryland. It's called Ashton. It was just and again, at that time we really weren't investigating at that time. It was just to be experiencing things that were happening. It was very common for us to think, because my brother and I we were in high school at the same time, and my mom worked quite a bit of the time. So we would get home before anybody else. And after we know it's not one of us in the house, you'd hear somebody else going up the stairs, probably residual at this point. We didn't know that at the time, but we were always trying to clear the house because we think we got somebody in the house, because you hear them clear as day going through the house. And downstairs in the basement, it was half concrete, half dirt. And there were times it would sound like somebody just drove a truck right through the basement, but everything's still the same. There's nothing moved whatsoever. So some of my family didn't like it. Well, I did. Everybody else didn't really like it.
Yeah, it catapulted you into the field.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's such a
like
driving
in
interest.
every house your family lived in? It was every house?
Yeah, every house we lived in, for some reason, there was some type of something that would, that multiple people would experience, not just one. We would just, multiple of us would experience, whether it was apartments or townhouses or a house or whatever, multiple would definitely have their own experience. Even in that house, I finally got to a point where I asked my mom, because every time you go to turn and like in the hallway and something would flash like behind the wall that was adjacent to it or something. And I'm like, and again, my mom was very straight. She didn't talk about anything like this. It didn't feed into us as far as, I wasn't one to watch a lot of the scary movies or anything. It really didn't fascinate me, but this got to fascinating me. But it was, you're seeing something, we try to go ahead and take that out of our mind. It's something in my eye, whatever. When you see something out of your peripheral, but you keep turning around and it goes. And finally I confronted my mom. I'm like, Mom, have you ever seen anybody like behind yours? And she goes, oh, you're seeing them too. And that's when we finally started coordinating on some of the stuff that we're experiencing. And then when the other part, we've had a bird come down the chimney and get in the house, and, they fly around a room, they can make some noise. But when she was sitting on that couch and wouldn't turn her back to the to the rest of the house, it was pretty obvious, it had scared her quite a bit. So.
Were you this nonchalant at the time? You're like, oh, interesting, fascinating.
Yeah. Everybody always asks, what's the scariest part you have? It's not scary. I've gone from there, and now I'm at a point, well, for quite a while here recently, not recently, quite a while, you do the regular investigation. I did a lot of residential investigation, but then it turned pretty abruptly. It turned to actually treating the location. So I'm fortunate enough that I get to see a lot of things that people will never, ever see. And good for them. A lot of people can't handle what you'd see. And it sounds like, I know I sound like a fruitcake when I talk about it and everything, but it's so cool. I'm just looking to help the family get back on track living. I treat locations and I treat people. But when you, in the midst of that, there's people that'll make things up. There's people that, it's all, you have to weed that out. But then when you get to see it, to me, it's like Christmas. I'm like, even when I had a very large team, and, the human element is most people are pretty scared of things when it's really out of their control. They can't see it. Things move. And I was so blessed to have this incredible medium on my team. She was like my sister. We always called each other brother and sister. And she actually lived with me for a couple of years here. And she could see everything in real time, and again, you can believe what you want to believe. You can believe everything's just a human energy, spirit, or whatever on the other side. And I know it's not. So she could describe in details, but to me, I'm not seeing it. So it doesn't affect me like it would affect her. Watching her get she would be so scared and intimidated, and God forbid, I can understand. I've seen her choked and everything else, but because she's seeing it and I'm not, I just love watching everybody's reaction. When something happens, all of a sudden, like half your team just goes death quiet, and they're kind of like, I'm not here. You don't see me, please. And we've had some people that are extremely stable, and to see them affected, that's when you really know something, it's really interesting. Because there's some people that they're just so constant. They're a rock. So to actually see something actually manipulate them. And again, to me, that's so cool.
Yeah. Did you move from, when you were moving, did you move like in the same area, the same neighborhood?
Yeah. We moved all over the place. Yeah. Maryland and Virginia a lot. We moved. Growing up, I think we moved 10, 12 times at least. It was quite a bit before I got to middle school and we stayed in one spot. We were moving a lot. So it wasn't like it was just that little area or anything. And it wasn't even the same, looking back at it, wasn't the same type of activity at each of those locations too, which is a little bit, if it was the same type and you're thinking, okay, something's traveling or something's coming with, or somebody's a little bit more open to a particular type of energy, that would be one thing. But we ran into quite a bit of different types.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, that's just something. And you said it followed you guys from location to location.
I don't think it was the same thing following us. It was just, it
Oh,
was
okay.
different. It was different activity. That would be typical. I mean, that happens if somebody, you deal with an entity or attachment or whatever.
Yeah.
It would follow you, but this was different types. And we'd have people that would come and visit and nobody would say anything to them. And all of a sudden they're telling us what we already know, which again is a great confirmation. I love that.
Yeah.
As an investigator, that was one of the best parts. Is we've had some really good locations, and we have this one. It was a Masonic temple, and it was great because the Masons there believed in the power of three, and it wasn't the power of three like witchcraft or anything else. It was the power of three that they got to have three of them before they're going to walk through that place because they were very nervous, which is great. There was a lot of activity. So when we would invite other teams to come over and not tell them and watch what they got. So when they got some of the same things that we got, that was, it was icing on the cake at that point. It's great to see.
Yeah. Masonic lodges are pretty, I did a couple of those already, and you always seem to get something there, from whatever it might be. I have a drawing of one of the Masonic lodges by Bayonne, New Jersey. And yeah, it's always get something in Masonic Lodge.
There's I guess there's some reasons behind it. Excuse me, my wife's been with me for the last couple of years, which is great. We actually got married last year on Halloween. So here we come back up to this wonderful time. So it's great. But ever since she's been with me and while we were dating, she's been into the paranormal as well. And, a lot of people just been blessed. I mean, a lot of people you're lucky to ever get any type of activity when you go to a location. And it's just the opposite for us. We typically, and I'm big on debunking. I mean, I will do anything I can. And if there's a question about it, if it's equipment, you got to watch for batteries, stuff like that, other, RF signals, whatever. But I'm always trying to debunk it out. Even after I get excited, like something happens, a ball falls or something, or a flashlight gets falls or could have been knocked over. Get excited until I review it. And then I'm like, okay, it might've been, let's try to recreate it. Was it somebody walking or whatever? But we get quite a bit of EVPs and everything else.
Yeah. I'm into all that too. Everything that's out there, everybody's showing you all their evidence, and it's not, I try to debunk stuff also because not everything's haunted. Not everything is a spirit. Not everything, out there is what they're trying to push out there. It's not always, and with my stuff, you'll never see anything that I don't truly believe it's something. Or I go with my groups of people and show them and see what they say.
Right.
Also, get other people's opinions.
Because I know people get their feelings hurt about it because, everybody wants a cardboard cookie. Everybody wants to say, hey, I got something. And, I would personally, I don't want to have something and then find out 5 years later I was completely wrong for the last 5 years thinking I got something. Yeah. So I'd prefer to go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off somebody first and go, look, I can recreate that real easy. Let me just show you and actually do a video and show them. Yeah. At that point, you got to call it for what it is. It's not, you can't determine enough to go ahead and say, yeah, that was something paranormal. And people are way too quick for it. It's like a picture. Everybody wants to turn around and give a response when they see a picture. Well, one picture is not enough to go on. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, but what is the lighting conditions? Where's the lighting coming from? There's so much more to it. And having pictures during the daytime and the same perception, all of that, you recreate it and then see where you go from so you can start taking it out.
Yeah, like the weather. A lot of things with the weather, with pictures, videos, even audio. You can always get something to recreate that, and the weather affects it. People don't realize that. I don't take that into effect. If the place is damp, you got water drip, you got some. It's always, you can always find, and you sit there, and that's what I try to do when it comes to, you sit and you sit there and you just concentrate. You don't have to go, oh, this, just concentrate on what it could be. Yep. And, a lot of times it's not a haunting, it's not a spirit and stuff, like I said. And I do a lot of debunking on my stuff, and you're right. People get mad at you. They send you pictures. You got a picture, and you're looking at the picture, and you're like, that's a lens flare from. I had one person send me, and it was at a wedding, and there's two girls standing there, and the guy saying, "I think grandma." Somebody was at the wedding, or there was a spirit at the wedding. I'm looking at it. I said, "Did you flash a picture? This picture's a flash picture." You go, "Yeah." I said, "Look at her earrings. She had diamond earrings on. You can see the diamond earring lit, and there was a big orb on the side because the diamond earring sent a lens flare. Now you got a lens flare on you, and you're like, that's not an orb. That's just a reflection off the earring." And oh man, this guy wouldn't talk to me ever again.
Really?
A lot of people show me old
No,
photographs.
you don't know what you're talking about. This and this. I said, if you don't think I know what I'm talking about, why'd you send me in the first place?
Right, right.
Yeah.
A lot of the old photographs, you
That's
know.
a good question of, there are spirits there at your family's wedding. There always are. Just because they don't show up on camera doesn't mean that they're not there.
Yeah.
And it actually also brings up another good point, Robert. You were talking about the technology in the photos and being able to change them. I feel like sometimes we've come through this part where we are using all of this technology in the photos and this and this and that, and now we have AI, and it's almost like it is so hard to believe anything you see nowadays, which for me as a medium is great because now I feel like we can actually come back into going into the places and just experiencing and really using that experience, your own experience, trusting your own experience versus what you're seeing on a camera or catching on an infrared, So
when I deal with residential, I mean, one of the things having somebody that's gifted is leaps and bounds a blessing. I mean, it's incredible. And I had one on my team well before most other people had them on their team. And it doesn't matter. Even when she lived with me, I was constantly testing, and constantly pushing the envelope. When I met her originally, she could do reads face to face. That's how she could read somebody. But she could see things. It's like if we go to Gettysburg, if anything over 100 years, she sees it in black and white, but she would see the actual battle playing out. She could tell me where there's things in the ground, Native American artifacts. And she'd be like, just dig right here. It's wintertime. I ain't digging this person's yard, whatever, But she was incredibly accurate. It was amazing. But when we did the investigations, we did a lot of them live. What I've never done so far is go with a 360 camera, but I want a 360 camera as far as to be able to, so people can just look around while you're doing it. There's nothing to hide. If you're a true investigator and you're really trying to go at it, there's going to be downtime, there's going to be boring times, and there's going to be activity, if you approach it the right way. But everybody wants to go in originally, they watch the shows and they go in with this cookie cutter approach. And it's like, first of all, my medium was able to go ahead and give me a lot of information, more so than what she actually knew. Besides, we'd be live and she'd say, "Rob, there's a little boy right here." And she'd start describing the little boy. And so you have to go into a role play mode where I can't see him. I don't know he's there or she's there or whatever, but I'm going to start engaging and trying to go ahead. But when you play the video again, all of a sudden you got this little kid answering me. And anybody, you could see it's not edited. You go back. I mean, other people were watching our videos and letting us know what part to watch because they were capturing this stuff. So you have a medium. Here's your confirmation of what this medium's been telling me. This medium's saying this little boy named Kenny, and now I got this little boy talking to me. I mean, that's perfect confirmation. And before we'd go to the location, she'd give me information. And at first we used to just jot it down. Then I had her texting it because then it would timestamp. It would date and timestamp her information. And clients, they give you certain information, but they definitely don't give you all the information that a medium or psychic might pick up on. And so when I go to the client and I go, "Hey, here, read this," and the client knows what they've shared with me or what they haven't, and they're going, how do you know this? That builds the credibility as far as with that person who's gifted. And again, that's all fairness to the gifted person. There's plenty of people that are going to always question them, go, "Oh no, whatever." I've seen so many people walk away that were like that, but they walk away in tears because that person gets enough information to go ahead and lay out very personal details to them that just leaves them in shock, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when we can do it live, it's even better because we're giving to me, I don't care if you consider yourself gifted or not. If you want to participate in our investigation, tell me what you're getting. I don't. If everybody else is saying a little boy and you get a little girl, say a little girl. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
That might be the road we need to go down to kind of unwind things.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
mean,
Yeah, I love that.
one
I love-
investigation, you need somebody, like you said, you need people there, like, you ask them, oh, do you see anything? Do you hear anything? And they say,
Yeah.
oh, little girl, little girl. And I notice a lot of locations now that we go to that you have one psychic go there and say, oh, Mary's here. Now, everybody after that investigation is going to ask for Mary.
Right.
Right.
How do you know there's not maybe there is a Mary and that she was there that night? Because I believe in travelers' spirits. They're not always sometimes in the same spot all the time.
Agreed.
So how do you know that it wasn't a traveler there just for that night? Now everybody going, Mary, you here? Mary, and then they start asking questions about Mary. But there's
Those are
other
in the
spirits
corner.
there too. Yeah,
Leave me
It's
alone.
like, you can't help put the blinders on and go for one thing. You got to see what everything's around you. There might be more than what's going on there than what one psychic said. The word Mary, the name Mary.
When we first started investigating, or when they started hitting the TV shows, let me back up. When the TV shows first came out, like Ghost Hunters and whatnot, they would talk about the history first, and it was very big, and it still is. There's 50% of the field wants to know the history about everything, but we mentally get wrapped around that information, and that's, to me, I'm very opinionated. I don't think that's as good as, I want somebody to go in with an open mind of what could be there or what might be there or what might not be there. I don't want to tell them what's going on until I'm at least halfway through the investigation.
Yeah.
When my medium would get there, she would do a walkthrough. I'd give her a recorder. Her husband and her would walk through the house, and they would only report back to me. I didn't want anybody else to have that in their head of what they're trying to target. They just need to be open to see what actually comes through.
Smart.
Yeah.
I like that.
You want a medium go there with no, with no contamination. That's why we got Kim.
Yeah,
that's
it's
what we did
really
at Kim.
That's why we got Kim.
People are be pulling
We
their,
send her in.
they'd be like with Kim, they'd be going, hey, come here. What do you think about this? Stop. Let her.
Yeah, I like
let
to go in
her-
first. Yeah, I like to go in first. I
maybe
don't
she
want to
gets a
know.
pull somewhere.
I hardly even want to know the address. I don't want to know anything. Nothing. Names, nothing, dates, no events. I don't want to know any of that. And I actually do most of it from outside before I even go in. I do a reading because you can be biased even as you're walking through the building. You can see kind of a creepy area and you can be like, oh, that's the creepy area, So I actually even will just stay outside and read from outside. But yeah, I love that you have that relationship with another medium to go through, because most of the people that we work with as well have that balance between using the technology, because I believe in the technology too. I love it. Like if the tech gets a name that I'm picking up, love it. Makes me feel good.
Sure. For sure.
A lot of things that came out had banks, like word banks and whatnot, and that was concern. But too many people don't realize that everything can be manipulated. All electronics can be manipulated. Doesn't mean it's going to happen at every location, but if something really wants to get through, and not look, everybody on our side, I know I cannot shoot a damn basketball in a hoop for nothing. So I am, forget that. It'll never happen. I'll never be a Michael Jordan. But yet you see what somebody like him can do. It's the same thing on the other side. Not everyone's going to be able to manipulate things as well as some, or make sounds or move things. But we know it does happen. So some of them can. So, but having that person with abilities, it's like, there was this one location. It's one of my favorite locations because it's a little boy, and for some reason, I look like the man who took care of him. And it was part of the Underground Railroad, and he hid this little. Him and his wife hid this little boy. And when we first went there, his name's Jeremiah. And when we first went there for the first couple of rounds, my rounds are about 45 minutes to 60 minutes. When we investigate, we break up into groups and make sure we're not contaminating and investigate. But I did outside for the first 2 rounds, and my medium came to me and she's like, Rob, would you please go upstairs with the homeowners and please go in there? He's been watching you out the window the entire time. And nobody had gotten anything up to that point. And we do the flashlights. That's one of the things that we do. And I'm not in for, I mean, you could try to debunk it. Good luck. Mathematically, after a while, is what I'm looking at. Science is about math. It's about being able to repetitiously repeat and have a constant outcome. And I would use, like up there at that point, I was using 6 flashlights, and this little boy picked up on the flashlights the fastest. And I have a 10-second window. I don't care about what happens in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever. But you have 3 lights at first, start with 3 lights, have 3 lights down. I'm like, if you're here, can you just turn the light on the left? And it comes on, the first one comes on within 10 seconds. You say, okay, whatever. I always discount the first time. And then say, okay, back away, just turn it off. And it goes back off. And before long, I could say, okay, can you turn all 3 of them on? And then I'd go up to 6. And then I'd say, can you turn them all on? And they go, and they're all on.
Wow.
And now everybody's like, holy, because half my team hadn't seen this at this point. And they're like, get out, this can't be real. And the homeowner's eyes are about yay big. And so I was like, all right, I need you to do me a favor. Miss Lee is the one who's letting you stay here in her house and everything. So I need you to be a good boy. And when I first started talking going back to my medium, she's right, Rob, slow down. He's not educated. Use small words, slow down. And it was good because she would teach me that. Unknowing to her, she's really teaching me a lot. It's like if we go to a location, I always sit on the floor. Most of my team will sit down on the floor if they can, because we're intimidating, especially in the wintertime. We have our jackets, coats, or whatever else. And then if you got some tall guys on your team and everything, that can be very intimidating. Whereas if we sit down on the floor, they're more likely to come to us. Let them come to us, excuse me. And so in that location, as soon as I said, please listen to Miss Lee, and she says, Jeremiah, if you don't mind, can you turn one of those flashlights on? That flashlight came on, and you couldn't wipe that smile from that woman's mouth.
Wow.
And he followed her for whatever she said for the next 10 minutes. She was loving life. It was great to watch. Then everybody wanted to say it.
Yeah. That's amazing. Children's spirits are just amazing to begin with. They're usually, they're likely to be that interested in others. Do you do mostly home investigations at this point? And I actually kind of want to go back to something you said earlier. Sure. You were talking about doing home treatments, house treatments, and people treatments. What is that about?
I do not claim to be an exorcist or anything like that. I have dealt with the same situations, and I've dealt with, people can be influenced by the other side. I mean, it's silly to think that we're not. First, most people think, okay, there's, you're in your room, hey, there's nothing else around me. I can't see anything. I don't hear anything. But that's so misleading for us to believe that. We see, basically, if you had 100 pennies to say for vision of all the different colors, we only see 1 penny. Not even that. We don't see 1% of the light spectrum. So you have all these different color lights. Sound wise, we're only hearing a certain portion of the sound, a very small fragment of the sound. So to think that there's not other things going on around us, again, we want to put in our mind, makes us sleep easier if everything is just us and there's nothing else around, but it's not reality.
Yeah.
Right.
So when it comes to treating locations, I definitely treat people and I treat locations. I go to a location where the entire family is living in one room. That is horrible.
Wow. Yeah.
Kids, I cannot stand for kids to be intimidated and scared. That to me is that's my priority. I've had parents that would call me because this one little boy, they were like, somebody is reading him bedtime stories at night. You can listen. Children with imaginary friends that are truly imaginary and they have this conversation, they don't have two-way conversation. They're not, but I don't want to, they're not having that two-way conversation. And education is, knowledge is power is the biggest thing I preach. So you can decipher whether or not it's really just a kid having fun, playing a little tea time, whatever, as opposed to when there's somebody else and they're actually watching their facial features and listening to them, back and forth in their conversation. And for parents, that's concerning. When you got somebody that your kid's in there talking to somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what everybody sees on TV is that everything's bad. Everything's dark and doom. Else.
Right. It's
TV and movies. Yeah.
Right.
And it's unfortunate, but too often it's not. Too often it's a loved one, somebody's watching over, a friend, or whatever.
Right.
we had one of the earlier cases. It was I was on a different team for about 2 months. I had joined a team, and then it was just kind of what not to do. So I like, yeah, no, I'll just make my own team. But when we did an investigation, and during the investigation, I was doing the video, and I remember we had one young lady, and she was talented. She definitely had some gifts, and she would see video clips, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, I see this man on fire outside working on a car." And she's like, "Oh my God." The homeowner's wife was like, "Oh my God, that was Ray's best friend. That really happened." So there was some confirmation there. Then when we were on our way to go back and sit down with them, let them know what we'd found, on the reveal, the same young lady turned around to me. We were riding over there in the car, and she turned around to me and she says, "Rob, I see a little girl drawing a picture, and she's drawing 3 different colors. It's orange, yellow, and red, and it's a man on fire. And that's her monster." Because this little girl, it was 2 little girls shared a bedroom. One of them was seeing a monster every night and was scared to death. And you can hear when a child screams, there's a difference between being a parent, hey, pain, hunger, don't feel good, terrible fright. I mean, that's it's on a whole different octave. And this little girl would hit that. And so we're sitting there, and this girl, she must have had at least 100 and 150 colored crowns. And eventually, because again, we got on the floor, because at first the person that was in charge was like, "Well, here's a CD, review it, let us know if there's anything you have." I'm like, can we sit and talk for a few minutes? Because he had 2 little kids kept coming back and forth. They were kind of curious. So it was like, let's see where this leads to. And we sat down on the floor, and then here come one of them dragging her pencils and paper. And then she sat down and she drew 3 different colors, red, yellow, and orange. And it was a man on fire. So I was like, "If you don't mind, I'm just going to go upstairs for a minute." And I went upstairs by myself, and I explained to the gentleman, I was like, "Look, you can't show yourself. Unfortunately, this little girl is able to see you, but she's seeing you in your death state, and it's scaring her. And I thank you so much for watching after her." And it might seem like I'm completely, but the girl never had an issue again. So after you do it enough times, after a while, I'm role playing, because again, I can't see the person there. Mm-hmm. You learn to know there's something credible happening here. Nobody was there to see it. The little girl didn't know what I did, but why is she now suddenly not scared anymore?
Right. I think you make a really good point, Robert, and that's TV a little bit too, and that we always have this impression that spirits are not going to leave, that they're angry, or they're going to hang on, and that we can't just speak to them like we would speak to, each other, right? Like you said, just explain it. And, "Oh, okay, I won't scare her anymore." That's how it would go in life, correct? Like if I said, "Robert, you're scaring my daughter when you yell. Please stop." You would just stop, right? But because of TV or whatever, we have this impression that spirits are like, "No, I'm not going to stop," kind of thing, where it's a lot simpler than people make it out to be.
Yeah, everything's demon.
They forget they're just human beings that we can reason with sometimes.
Yeah, to your point, they've made it up that everything is demonic, everything's this horrible dread and everything. And it's like they're dead, they're zombies, and they're no longer people. And it's like, that's why you miss so much. And I truly believe that so many people don't connect with the other side, because they don't treat them just like me and you. And we know if you mess with if you disrespect, you're either not going to get interaction, or you're not going to appreciate the interaction you get. We know that happens. Enough times you go out in the field, and you can find out how well that. So if somebody goes and they're aggressive or they're disrespectful, and they're like, they never capture anything, and that's the reason for it. Who wants to talk to somebody that's nasty?
Yeah, exactly. The field, with the movies, I think Poltergeist is one of the movies that started with all the horror, with all the paranormal, and that's I think one of the first movies that really started all that, and then of course TV has to come in and make everything demonetized. So everybody's afraid, and I get told this all the time that we're looking for demons from very religious people, saying, "Oh, I'm not looking for demons. I'm not looking for the devil. These are spirits. These were people at one time."
That's right. Even in with it that, you know, whether it's coming from the Bible Belt, which it gets a lot thicker and a lot heavier down there as far as for, you know, you can't interact. That's against it. Stop, for the love of God. You know, here we are. I do most of mine is based on Christianity. I do not consider myself a very religious person in the sense of one particular religion. I think all of them have quite a bit of truth to them.
Mhm.
So, you know, that's for somebody else to judge. There's only one person I'm worried about judging. But getting away from, you don't see enough of the stories of what really happens. Look, if it's a medium or a psychic and they're giving somebody closure because they're talking and they know exactly what this person sounds like, and this person who's had this loss is suffering so bad, this person that's gifted is now in front of them and able to go ahead and give them that closure, let them know they're all right. That's an amazing part. I had a location where this woman, we called it the Murray House actually, and we had a snowstorm coming in, and one of my team members, it was a girlfriend of hers from ages ago, and she had remembered, oh, my friend's on a team, which was the woman that was on my team, and they had lost the family home, the home that her grandfather had built, whatever, and they're about to foreclose on it. But the people that were there at the time were hoarders. They had just tons of stuff, and she wanted to get out. If there was anything there that she was meant to get out, she wanted to get it out. And so I took a couple of things up there, the Ghost Meter Pro, because it, you know, makes sounds and has some flashy lights, the K2 flashy lights. For people that aren't into it, they're just like, wow, you know, they just go nuts about it.
Bells and whistles, they call it.
Right. But it would go, both of them would make, the lights would go crazy on the K2 every time this woman asked are you upset that we lost the house? And it get to a point where she probably asked that question at least 20 times. I was just ready to be like, would you please stop asking the same questions? The reaction of both these pieces of equipment would be absolutely crazy. And after I changed the battery in them 3 different times, because I'm like, okay, it's got to be a battery, you know, and it's got to be this. I can't debunk it anymore. And I'm like, holy shit. By the time we were done, to make it story short, she's asking, are you upset at me? And nothing would happen. And are you upset we're losing it? Of course, it would go nuts. Is it in my room? Nothing. Is it in your old room? Nothing. Whatever. Is it in the garage? And the garage is detached. And every time she asked about the garage. Snowstorm comes. We're leaving 3 o'clock in the morning. The woman says, okay, I'm going to lay down until it gets light out so I can go out and look. I had her and the team member go out there, and in the same spot twice, the equipment went crazy. Ultimately, she finds 16 ounces of gold the next morning.
Oh, wow.
If that's demons, can I have some? You know, it's a bad thing. If you can tell me what's bad about that, I didn't get a postcard, and I'm still a little irritated by that. But you know, that was fantastic. The woman got 16 ounces of gold, for God's sakes.
That's awesome. You know.
Boy, I hope that happens to me on my next investigation.
Right.
Yeah,
From her relatives across the veil, giving her the heads up that there was something. I actually had something very similar like that happen to me. We were leaving my grandmother's house. We were selling it. And I kept getting this in my head. The coins are here. The coins are here. So I love collecting coins, and all the coins I have are from my family. And I just kept saying, oh, the coins are here. So I'm looking, I go in a drawer. There's this small heart-shaped little box. I have no idea why she even had this. And in it were coins from 1863 or something like that. And I still have them to this day. And they're probably, I mean, they're not worth like, 60 ounces.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, if you ask, they'll provide, they'll answer. They want to help you. They're family. Yeah.
Right.
Love that.
Even in the worst
I always
cases.
end up with the bills. I always got to pay out. The spirits never give me anything. The only spirits give me is you owe this, you owe that. I don't understand.
They show Anthony where his bills are.
Yeah, that's what they are. They put them right in front of me. It's like, oh, I know that one.
Did you forget something, Anthony, right here?
Oh my goodness.
Even in the worst cases, though, there are, I don't care how you look at it, there are loved ones on the other side that are looking out for the people, and
of course,
they'll make the connection. They'll make, I'll have somebody and they'll be like, well, Rob, you don't understand. I called 20 different people and you're the only one that's called me back. Now, we know we get busy and this is not the only job we have, obviously, so, but when you watch it happen enough times where the cards just go your particular way for what you're supposed to take care of, and it all works out.
Yeah.
I truly believe that's their help trying to get things done. you know.
Yeah. See, when my mother comes through, like I said, when I think about my mother or something, I always find a quarter.
Nice.
And I mean, in the weirdest place, I found a quarter in the refrigerator one time.
In the refrigerator.
Yeah.
By the
I
lasagna.
mean,
Yeah, I was
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
say
yeah.
buy
I had to pay for the,
buy
I
the
had to pay,
cannoli.
I had to buy the cannoli drink. Yeah,
We have
um,
a drinking game on this show, Robert. When we say cannoli, we drink.
everybody has a drink.
Alrighty.
We haven't been
Welcome
saying
to the
as much
drinking
as
game.
in the past, but so I find quarters whenever I think about my mom
Everyone
or
said
something
it.
like that. Buy the. Yeah, I wish a cannoli was a quarter. Yeah, drink again. I said cannoli.
That's funny.
But you're so right, Robert, about this idea. And one of the things that I love about doing these investigations as well, doing the residential or people reach out, is empowering people back into their space. Because there is this idea that, and it's not a new idea. I mean, this has been a long thousands of years. We've believed that spirits have power over us and can possess. I mean, this goes back to shamanism, thousands and thousands of years. So it's not a new idea that TV is, well, just exploiting. But
Right.
But when you can go into a home and you can just explain what's happening and say, I see what you're seeing. I see what you're experiencing. I believe you. Here's my tools that are also showing that. And then empowering them back into their space is really meaningful.
It is.
You're influencing the entire family, whether it's one person or multiple people, and you can influence somebody. I mean, you can bring them from the brink. I mean, some people, unfortunately, we know have taken the wrong steps and because they were so distraught for it. It's no different it seems like a long time ago. I graduated back in the 80s, and it's like, if you said that you could hear or talk to dead people or whatever, they put you in that special little room on the 4th floor for observations, and it's like, how many people are still put away because they can hear or see, who are, now we call you mediums or psychics or whatever, it's gifted.
Yeah.
But
True.
there wasn't enough known, and then people were too worried about it. And it's like, you get the wrong, like I said earlier about the Bible Belt. Oh, that's the work of the devil. And then this happens. It's unfortunate. And most of it's out of fear. To your point, Kim, fear. I say knowledge is power. When I'm dealing with a client, the biggest thing to get to them is to make sure, A, they need to know there's hope. It's frustrating because you get teams that go out there, and there's different people that are doing this for different reasons. You got thrill seekers. Hey, you're fine to be a thrill seeker. If that's really what your go is, and that you just like having fun at it, great, but just be honest about it. Others want to investigate, and that's great too. But if you don't treat locations and they're telling you they got bad things that are happening, don't just leave that family hanging, that person or family, that client. If you leave them hanging and you just bolt out the door because the door moved and all of a sudden you're scared and you're gone.
Yeah.
Right.
You just caused more issues than, so then when we come in, we have to sit there and we got to give them hope. You absolutely have to show that you know what you're talking about, and which makes it real easy, because once you've done it enough times, there's certain things I'll explain to the client of what's going to happen. And when it happens, then they understand it. Okay, no, this is the way it's supposed to. It's no different than, and again, I'm not knocking priests or anything else, but when they come, a lot of times they'll come, everybody says, call a medium, call a priest. That's like the go-to for anything. It doesn't matter, it's just Aunt Frida just trying to say hi to you. It's all horrible, gloom and doom. If it is anything negative and somebody comes in and does a little Harry Potter with a little bit of stuff, 3 days later, they say, oh my God, it's worse, because you done pissed it off if it was something negative. But a lot of times it's not even to that point. It's just, if you're trying to, if they can't hear you, what's the next thing? If you can move something, you're going to certainly move something, to get attention. It doesn't always mean it's anything bad. It's no different than like people with scratches. Oh my God, it's demonic. What? We're physical and we think of ourselves as being physical. How do they see us? Are we transparent to them? Can they actually see exactly where we start and where we end, our energy level, our energy field? Take scratches again. If you walked out and you walk through some roses, you feel the scratch, you see the line immediately. How come when it's paranormal, you get the redding first, people feel burning or itching, you see the redness, and then it slowly starts to develop. And it could take several minutes to develop. It could be gone minutes later, or it could be gone days later. But that's not the same way when we get a typical physical scratch on our plane. So when they're reaching for us, do they always mean the scratches? Of course not. What's the longest fingers you've got? You got 3 that are pretty close to the same length. You know, so say something happens in 3s and it's demonic and all that other crap. Again, it's just a play on it, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, they got to make it sound the Trinity and all that stuff, you know, and it's a mockery to the Trinity. They got to make it, because that's what TV does. That's what the TV does to make themselves get people to watch. You know, spirits, and I believe spirits don't always touch you or scratch you to hurt you.
That's right.
They just want your attention. And I've been many a time scratch punch. I mean, and it's like, if I go to investigation, I don't care, because that's what I want to do, to get some sort of, that's my evidence. If you're going to scratch me, that's my evidence. Maybe not everybody likes to be touched and everything, because, you know, but I scratched, burned, bit, you know, I had hand marks on me.
Rocks thrown at you.
Rocks thrown at me. Yeah. You know,
but a lot of people go to a location, they're like, you know, whether they feel their chest or they feel something like their arm, you know, whatever, or a stabbing pain, and they're like, oh, I'm being attacked. No, you could be having an acute empathic. I mean, you've never been empathic and typically feel, but you could be on the same frequency of what's there, and you're actually feeling a previous event of what's happened to somebody. You know, we've gone to locations where somebody has either been by suicide or not, but there's been a hanging in there. And all of a sudden this person gets this big red and their neck's hurting and it turns red and it's got a crazy red mark all the way up the side, and they haven't even touched, you know, but it's happening. And it's just where they're experiencing what's happened in the past. They're just basically reliving what somebody else has already gone through. It's not somebody you're attacking them. But it's getting that mindset out that, no, stop thinking everything's a freaking attack. I mean, it's just unfortunate that TV's pushed it so far.
So I believe too, with our biggest piece of tool that we could use on an investigation is our own intuition. If you don't feel good going to a location, physically you don't feel good, don't do it.
Perfect. 100%.
You know what I mean? It's like, I'm going to open a lion cage and go in there. No, I'm not going to feel comfortable.
Right.
It's, if you don't feel that it's comfortable to you, do not do it. You know, you're not proving it to anybody else by doing it. Maybe nothing will happen, but maybe something will. Just use your best tool is you when you do anything. And I'm always saying that. People in the audience hear that all the time from me. The best tool, you know.
I have more respect for somebody that is willing to say, whoa, this might be out of my wheelhouse. This doesn't feel right. I can respect that person much more than I can somebody that wants to pretend they have Superman juice and walk in there and then things go south. I mean, you're not doing anybody any favors. Right. And again, it's like if you got a client, it happens. People can get influenced. And I've had team members that have hit me, punched me and everything else, but you can't react to it like we would normally. You know, you want to smack back or whatever. And it's like, if the client's right there, and too often I see where people send clients away. Well, the clients are the ones that got to live there when you're gone, you know? So they need to see it through and be able to experience it and watch how things happen. And if you lose your composure, what is that going to do for the client? So even when I had a large team, I knew I couldn't, because if I did, I know my team's going to flip. And if they flip, I know the client's going to lose their mind. That's not going to help anybody. So I laugh a lot.
Exactly.
That's a great point. It's like
go ahead, Jenny. Go ahead, Jenny.
No, you go. Go ahead.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the scratches, because on your website you have a lot of pictures of scratches on there.
Yes.
Like really intense.
But it's really neat, because the worst one is you see the one where it's the back and you can see all the lines coming down and whatnot. You can see it's a right-handed person. You'll watch where it's more definite, and it comes down where the person pulls down. It's lower where it pulls and comes in. That's a 14-year-old kid, and then comes from a higher on the left-hand side of the back and comes down. That happened right there. The kid's standing right there in the room with us. He wasn't scared. It was his dad who was scared more than anybody. His dad wouldn't stay in the house by himself. The kid didn't care. The kid says, "Oh, my back's starting to itch." So I was like, oh yeah, I can see why it's itching a little bit. We didn't even tell him what's going on.
Wow.
He can't see it. He doesn't know it. So he
Wow.
didn't freak out about
Oh
it.
my goodness.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there was a time I had the timestamp for that of how long it took before all of those disappeared. And they disappeared. I can't remember at this point. It might have been an hour later. They were gone.
Wow.
Yeah,
You
isn't
know.
that crazy? I've been on an investigation at the Shanley Hotel. Jenny's going to laugh at this because I always speaking up the Shanley Hotel. But I felt like somebody putting cigarettes out on my leg. And I took pictures and it looked like burns, round little burns on my leg. That night, because you stayed at the Shanley overnight, we went to bed early,
That's just
like,
rude.
yeah, I know.
Rude spirit. Get
And I went to bed. The next day I got up and took a shower and they were gone.
Wait,
Just that.
this was the ankle thing? When they scratched your ankle?
No. This is way before
Oh, okay.
that.
You get scratched a
This
lot.
is back when Sal owned it. But I'm
Okay.
talking about like 2010, 2011. something like
Yeah,
that.
it's a different kind of scratch. And I never thought about that, Robert, actually. It develops
crazy.
rather than starting with the deep scratches and then getting lighter, it develops.
Yeah,
To
they
get-
develop. Yeah.
What Kim's talking about, there's several of those pictures are actually my medium. She got attacked a lot. Again, it was, she's also put in a lot of bad situations. And then one time at the Masonic Temple, she got going a little bit too much with that. And the gentleman that was there was a previous century that used to be when it was just strictly men. A female could not walk in the building. And she was mocking what they had as far as the different things they had in that room, and she was mocking it, and he shut her up. I mean, he had no problem with it, but a lot of those scratches and whatnot, again, we used to do it live, and it was really cool because she had a pretty long ponytail, and she'd be on video, and all of a sudden you'll see her ponytail go flying off to the side, and you'll see the rubber band either on the end or the hair clip go flying out. She's like, it just got me again. It got me. And then we come and put the camera on and pull her collar back. And a lot of times I'll use a coin so you can see eventually when I take regular pictures how big the scratches are.
Yeah,
but you'd be able to watch, anybody that was live would be able to watch it actually go from red, and then you'd start seeing the deep scratches actually come through. So it was giving them a chance to see, okay, this really can happen. It didn't mean it was the end of the world. She survived. Everything's fine. She didn't like it at the time, but damn, it was entertainment.
Yeah, I know. Everybody else. It was funny when I got those burns, and I'm like, ow. My brother and my son, I got them on video laughing so hard. They were laughing at me. I'm here going, ow. They're like, ah. My brother fell to the floor laughing. And then my son came over, he's laughing, and they took pictures of it, and that's when you see it. But then it was like, I just got hurt, and they're laughing. That's where you can sell blood. My son and my brother.
Family for you.
That's family for you.
Yeah.
I don't want to miss. We had a question earlier in the chat, and we have such a great audience. I don't want to miss it. It's way back. Adam in our audience asked what you do to protect for an investigation.
Prepare, protect. Yeah.
For myself, I'm not. I know a lot of people want to have protection. Look, JC protects me. And again, you have your own path, your own religion, whatever. I'm 100%. I always know I'm protected. So I don't do anything really extra. I wear a cross. That's not my protection. My protection is my belief system. And when I'm dealing with a client and I'm trying to get clients to understand, you're on the physical plane. And the easiest way to go ahead, so you're being on the physical plane means you have more power than I don't care what it is, you demons, Native American, whatever. You have more power because you're on the physical plane. Problem is, everybody gives that up as soon as they get scared. That's why it always tries to cause fear. You get scared, you just gave that up. You don't realize, and now all of a sudden you're at their mercy. And even if you get used to, if the household gets used to the door slamming, well, then it's going to start beating on the wall or something or whatever. It's going to elevate it if it needs to keep that fear factor up.
I use Trojan for protection.
What do you use?
Trojan.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's the other show. It's not this show.
Wrong show, Anthony.
I'm sorry. Hey.
Tim, how about yourself?
Me, I go in. I've been doing it such a long time that I go in, I say the prayer. I say the Lord's Prayer when I go in.
Okay.
And that, I feel that's one of the one things that does protect me. I also carry a bag of all my mother's saints and everything. And I have a little bag of that. And I feel that if something wants to mess with me, they got to deal with my old Sicilian mom first. And I know she knows how to swing that wooden spoon.
Fair.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's
they got to deal with my mom
yeah.
first. So, yeah.
Kim, how about you?
Yeah, you bring up a good point, Robert, about the energy going in. So I don't really do anything either. I don't really I have a very strict policy about my own house. There is nothing allowed in my own house or on my own property. That I've been very strict about. But when I go into other locations, I don't really do anything. I have a very firm internal intention that there is nothing that is allowed to this is non-negotiable. There isn't any negotiations about it. This is my energy, my space. I'm here to communicate. I'm here to tell your story. I'm here to help you, blah, 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 blah. And that's it. And there's no discussions. Because the second your energy starts to waver, that's an opening.
That's right.
So yeah.
Jenny?
It's similar, but I do something that not everybody does. I like that week, I'll make sure that I eat extra healthy, that I keep myself stress level down, that kind of thing. So it's not really anything specific at that time going into it, but it's more of I just keep myself all the time, trying even keeled and healthy and, exercise. I know that might not sound like preparation for an investigation, but to me it is.
No, it does, because again, you want that stable mindset. You want that solid.
Right.
You feel good about yourself.
Right. You're not exhausted. You're not stressed about your kids, and you're not focused, that kind of thing.
And a lot of people put themselves in really bad situations when they are all stressed out or extremely tired, and then they go to a location. They're easily influenced at that point.
Right.
And Kim, to your point, intent, man. Intent is extremely important.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
I wanted to bring up, I got to put some pictures. You also sell equipment, and do you make any equipment or just sell it?
Oh, no, we definitely make the equipment. We sell, there's a K2 that we sell as well. We don't make those, but the equipment, my wife and I have been building equipment. We just love it. We love building equipment. Before it was mostly motion sensors and EMF detectors. We're not allowed to say REM pod because the REM pod is trademarked, whatever. It works the same way, but better because trigger objects. I had a young lady, this one in particular, very simple. It's just like anything else where you'd have the bell itself, the spirit bell. So if you get something comes close to it, it's going to light up in case you're not seeing. You can have sound or no sound. But the idea was, besides building regular equipment, was taking it a little bit further for us. If I have something that can light it up, that's one thing. But I want something that's going to be not influenced by a battery or RF signal or something else. So if something rings it, that has to be physical manipulation. Kind of like the Jack in the Box.
That too.
There you go. Awesome. Thank you.
With the lights and everything.
Nice.
It's extremely sensitive. Hospitality bill's been around for a long, long time. And a young lady came up during one of our shows and she says, have you ever thought about using a bell? And for her, just like I would for anybody else who has an idea, if I create it, I'll send them the first one. And then if it's something that makes sense, that's one of our hottest items. More people have had interaction as far as with the bell than anything.
That's cool.
I'm going to show some pictures from your booth that you have.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we got some people that are definitely into the Ouija board. Not me, most of my cases have Ouija boards, but they'll actually light up. If you put your hand close to it, it'll light up. Same thing for the planchettes up on the front. You'll see a variety of different plushies, all kinds of plushies. So if you want to be around kids love plushies. Mm-hmm. So you definitely get interaction from those.
Yeah, those great trigger objects.
Yes. Some more.
Interesting. I haven't seen the Ouija board that lights up like that. That's
I
really
know
creative.
that piques my interest.
Yeah, you made that yourself.
Come back up to the screen for a second when you get a chance, if you don't mind.
Yes.
You made that.
So yeah, just taking the Ouija board and
Cool.
It's got two little buttons underneath. One's going to be for power. One's going to be for sound. And so something gets close to it. I got to get my hands out of the way.
Oh,
And it looks like you
Oh, I
built
turned it
someone a
off.
fire truck too.
I turned it off.
Wow.
oh, that sounds great. A fire truck.
Yeah.
So, we're
Ooh.
talking about energy coming
Love
through. If that's sitting there and it starts lighting up and you don't have any other power source there, there's a possibility. Now, of course, you're still going to go through your debunking process, but it's just another, again, a lot of people are into the Ouija boards.
Yeah. I mean, what do you put? Are those chargeable or are they just regular batteries?
Most of them are 9-volt batteries. The bell, because we've had quite a bit of one of the first locations I put the bell is the Real Ditto House down in Kentucky. And they didn't have a lot of equipment down there. And they have these kids, the little blocks that have the pictures, the numbers. It's little wooden blocks. They have all the different.
The old wooden blocks, yes.
They keep putting them in this little tray and they put all the blocks in there. The blocks are always moved. The kids are always playing with them. Same thing for little stones or crystals. They put them on all the stairs. The next morning, you might find one over in the nut bowl, one over on the kitchen counter, whatever. They're moved. So it's like, okay, let's go ahead and play with the bell. So they get in and they'll start playing with the bell a lot, really going off with it. And Denise is like, yeah, it keeps us up all the time. I'm like, well, there's a switch to cut the sound off. She's like, yeah, but we like hearing it. So they keep it running. Problem is they go through so many 9 volts because they just constantly play with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I've gone to a point where you can go ahead and just plug them in. I can make them so I can make pretty much any equipment where you can just plug it in and just leave it set. So if somebody wants to have a camera, a static cam, and they just want to run it overnight or endlessly, they can do that. No problem.
That's cool.
I just thought about this. A bell is so much more recognizable than so much of the other technology that we use for interactions. I mean, a bell has been, I don't know how long a bell has been around, but at least into the 1800s.
Yep.
Yeah.
Has been used. And they would understand that a bell is getting someone's attention. You know what I mean? Like I ring a bell to get someone's attention.
Yep.
Yeah, well,
Right, like a
bells used to be
hotel.
used back then.
Yeah, I don't know why I never thought
They
about
used to
that.
warn. They used to warn the towns, the bells from attacks, and the bells. Like you're right, the bells go back, maybe
Further than
1,000
Ouija
years or
boards.
so. Because I used to ring the bell when the attacks and come to town, so everybody could hear.
Yep.
Further than the
So,
radio.
yeah, bells been around a very long time.
Yeah.
But it was an idea from anybody can have a really good idea. And in this case, it's been our number one seller. I mean, it's been going crazy, and multiple places are reporting hearing the bell actually ring, which means unless you got a cat running on the counter where it's setting, other than that, what's going to ring it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm going to show this picture too. I thought this was pretty cool. This thing, look, that's pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
So a motion sensor. And you got to remember, in the dark, it's a lot better in the dark because you have it. It's loud enough to get your attention. It just sat as soon as something triggers it off, and it just flashes different colors.
That's cool looking.
Yeah,
How did you get to make all this
colors on this?
equipment?
The eyes and the nose and everything. That's pretty cool.
They are cool.
I just have a quick question about the bell, really quick. Did you say that you can adjust the sensitivity?
No, there is one that's called the dead bell, and this was not made to copycat the dead bell. The dead bell has a sensitivity button. Doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. If I'm investigating, I want to know if I get close to it, am I going to set it off?
Yeah.
Electromagnetic energy is what we're talking about. If we have it, Einstein proved it's not going to be destroyed. So if they're on the other side, they should have the same energy. As a builder or as an investigator, I want to know what's going to set this off.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be my energy that's going to set it off. Then I want to know that. Whereas the other object, if you turn around and you can turn it up or turn it down, well, it shouldn't be pinging a lot more. So you're basically saying, okay, if I turn it so it's sensitive, there's more ghost here.
Yeah.
No,
and making more sensitive waves in the air because he set it off, like on the K2.
But even with that, your hands won't set it off.
Okay.
Right.
So I want something that I know they can set off. That's just me. A good question.
I have just the bell.
Yep.
So I'm figuring if they could set this off.
Yeah.
That is there's some sort of power. They got some sort of energy to do that. And so sometimes the electronics to me, because being everybody in the audience, everybody heard, I'm a retired electrician, so I know how fluctuation of how electricity always tries to find a way, and there's a nick in the wire, it will find a way to go somewhere else, and it can be manipulated. To me, electricity can be manipulated in certain ways.
Yep.
Now, I just got a plain bell. If this goes off during the investigation, like I said, to me,
That'd be
I'm
amazing.
old fashioned. I like the old ways.
Yeah, that's either a person or
Yeah.
paranormal. Like there's no
Yeah.
in between if it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
as long as there's no pets running around to hit into it, you're
That's true.
going with that. That's the reason why we went with this.
Yeah, that's
At the
cool.
same place with down in
That is so cool.
Kentucky, it's the same idea. Play it so that it would turn around and Jack in the Box. Obviously, it'll pop up.
Yeah.
They'll
Yeah.
take it and crank it most of the way, but they won't. And the only way it pops up is when you go far enough. I don't know why I have to hold it a certain way. Then it pops up. It's mechanical. But when they turn it so far and then they stop, but when they come back, it's popped up.
That is wild.
Oh.
So you get a
These two
trying
were
to
taking
go.
it to that next level. We want them to do something physical to make it actually happen.
Gosh,
Yeah, yeah.
the box is the worst toy. Whoever
Yeah.
invented that is
I know, I agree. It's like
I
it's like
always
a game
a little bit
operation.
demonic.
And it's like so
What's up
stressful.
with that?
Yeah.
So stressful.
It's so funny because the generations have changed so much. We grew up with clowns, everything was fine. Now everybody's got issues with any type of clown or anything that pops up.
Right.
And having those at vendor shows, I should set a camera up because it's
I'm more afraid of that than probably like the Ouija board. Like I would not want to do the Jack in the Box, knowing at some point.
Yeah.
It's just
all right. What
gonna-
about a simple doll?
Well,
Yeah, I know.
okay. I'm glad we talked about the elephant in the room because if we didn't, I was going to bring it up by the end.
With the doll.
Okay.
Yeah, the
My
doll.
doll.
What's going on with the doll?
Listen. She just dropped an octave when she was talking. What do you mean? What's going on with the doll?
I know. You're
She's
freaked out by
afraid
the doll.
dolls.
I don't like
She doesn't
dolls.
like dolls.
Dolls were real popular, obviously. With kids, they're very popular. And even
Mhm.
with women, they were extremely popular. For a while, a lot of women had dolls and they'd lay them on their bed or anything else. These are a lot more sensitive. So, again, the idea is to have a trigger object. Something's going to come to
Oh,
it.
it's a trigger object. Got it.
So
Got
it's
it.
still
Yeah, I
EMF.
love that.
Anything gets close
An
to it,
EMF
it's going to
trigger
light it up.
Anthony, you need that in your repertoire. You need it
Yeah.
in your,
I
your
got my
doll
twin.
cabinet.
The twins need a friend, Anthony.
I
The
got the
twins need a
lullaby
friend.
dolls, the Bella dolls, and they move and they talk and they do all kinds of stuff. And Kim's afraid of it. And it's weird how they just, we were at a place and the dolls were answering questions they're supposed to babble, more babbling and maybe mama, dada type of thing. And they were answering. The one doll even said bullshit. So
Goes bullshit. I was
What?
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, what did she say? And another one, because I got two of the same exact
Kim,
doll.
nope.
And I'm there, the doll says, Rob it. As I'm like, why are you saying Rob? Somebody was walking over, they had a little doll, the Robert doll,
Yeah.
and they were walking over, and I didn't know, I didn't see them, they're coming from behind. And it says the doll kept saying, Rob it. And they put I was like, it's saying Robert. There's a Robert
Oh,
doll.
good. It's talking to other dolls. Perfect.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Even better.
the twins are coming this weekend.
Like I said, everything can be manipulated. There's things on the other side can manipulate pretty much
Yes,
anything.
And I
So
believe in that. That's so true.
it's a simple trigger tray. So if you want to place anything in, if you go to a place that has, that like an old gambling saloon or whatever, you want to put cards in here or chips in here. Anytime something gets close to it, it's going to set it off.
That's great.
Cookies
Like
for
it's similar
kids,
to a
Something
clip.
like that.
jacks,
I was
or
gonna-
anything like that.
I was going to suggest one because like a cup and put coins in there.
Yeah.
And that's because we used to do that. We used to get the alligator clips with a wire and put it to my RAM pod on the antenna and then run into this. And it worked so much because everybody was trying to get the coin. I was going to suggest something like that. Maybe you guys can make, but it seems like you got something already.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like
people
the tray.
people
That's
have used
nice.
money for it as
Yeah,
well.
that's a good
And
idea.
again, it was another young lady's idea. She's like, how about if we could have something, because she had these. We were out on an investigation. She wanted to have something that if they went to reach for it, would let her know.
Yeah.
I was
Right.
like, fine, we'll call it the trigger tray, and that's what we made it out to be, which
Pretty
came
cool.
out good.
Okay.
I like
And to
it.
your point, as far as
Yeah.
cups, I had another person. Tea is very big in her family, and so she wanted a tea set. So I actually have that set up already. I've got that. So one cup you can pick up and act like you're drinking or whatever. The other cup, if anything goes towards the other cup or goes towards the main thing of tea anyway, either one of those are basically the antennas. It would set it off. So
That's why. I
Very
want to
cool.
show a couple more of your things here.
sure.
Because I mean, I think it's pretty cool. I put this one here for Jenny.
Oh yes.
The cat toy.
Yeah, I fuck cats.
Yeah, she's
That's funny.
these boxes so cool.
Yeah, and Mary Beth
Jewelry
was asking
boxes.
about the plushies.
Jewelry boxes have been around for an awful long time as well. Trinket boxes, jewelry boxes, anything like that. Just like the lanterns you'll see on that page. Again,
Yeah,
trigger
cool.
objects, things that they would be able to relate to. Plushies, the cats. My wife was real big on making those right off the start. She does most of the plushies we have in general.
Mhm.
But how much draw comes to those? I mean, that's probably the second most popular is the black cat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
Okay.
can imagine. Everybody. I mean, with the Boo Bears. There's somebody in the audience asks, "Do you have
Yeah.
a Boo Bear?" But-
Don't
Yeah.
have the Boo Bear, unfortunately. The more power to you. I need to make one regardless. That there's some benefits and some not so much benefits that I
Yes.
can see from the Boo Bear that most of us
I
think.
agree.
Great idea. Love the idea. It's just being in the field, we know there's some pros and cons to it. And so there have to be some adjustments, some differences for that. And it wouldn't be called a Boo Bear, but we do have bears that will light up and do the same thing. They don't go ahead and talk. Native Americans, big. I had a gentleman who was Native American. He's like, well, can you make something to trigger, like a trigger object for Native Americans? And I'm like, the only thing coming to mind, honestly, was an axe. I'm like, I can't be handing out axes or anything. It's like what? And he's like, how about like a tom-tom drum? Can you make something out of that? So it's an EMF detector as well. So if something gets close to it,
Oh,
wild.
Yep.
I love that. I love that. I could have used that at Fort William Henry. We actually had a real drum, and we got talking about the drum on the recorder. That would have been amazing.
You should to make dream catches like that too.
good point. Excellent
That's a
point.
good
Yeah,
idea.
Mm-hmm.
real good.
How
We
long have
find
you been
that-
making these for? How long have you had your business?
Almost 3 years now.
Wow.
It's actually going pretty fast, but we go to a store, we go through thrift stores. It's like toys. It's like a little train.
That's great. I mean, look at all
I
three
can
of us are
find
like, what
something
about
so
this? What
simple.
about that?
Yeah.
You can use pretty much anything, and again, use toys. Used toys are fantastic. They've already been
Yeah.
used by kids, so why wouldn't I try to go ahead? It's going to light up if they touch it or anything. So again,
And a child from 1800s or something like that would know a train that looks like that.
the fire truck, I've only made a couple of those, but the return on them has been phenomenal already. So it's wild because you don't know exactly who we're going to have a draw to, but when it goes to the other side, just which they're really going to go after. And
Right.
don't ever expect, and this is a problem with a lot of people, that they expect every piece of equipment to work at every location. If it does, it's probably broke. Besides a recorder, it's not going to.
Yes.
Everybody on the other side does not want to go ahead and play with everything that you're going to walk out there with, unfortunately.
Right.
And learning how to use the equipment. And just because something goes off, something goes off one time, I always tell everybody, just first time, just throw it away. Forget it. Call it random, whatever. It's nice. It should give you a little excitement to go, okay, hold on, something might have done that. But you want it to go ahead and be corresponding with the questions you're asking, or when you're asking them to do it, and set your own little window when you're investigating. It's like I said about the flashlights, a flashlight that goes off randomly or just flashes and incoherent, that doesn't really tell me anything. But if I can have them turn the left one on and the right one on and leave the center alone, yet they've all been lit up at one point or another, that's telling me a lot more than just one just flickering on and going back off or whatever. So having any equipment, that's very important.
Yeah, equipment. I mean, right now, when I first started, we used to go to Home Depot and hardware stores when they existed, mom and pop stores, and buy our EMF meters and any kind of meters, anything that we had, we used to go to stores, and they, or we would make our own. I used to make my own dowsing rods out of coat hangers, do metal coat hangers. It's how everything to now with the equipment, how the equipment helps out a lot. It's better than walking around the coat hangers. You just sit down and it's much better than that. Or the
Radio
35
Shack.
millimeter camera. Yeah, Radio Shack. I got my Shack hack somewhere over here.
Do you remember Radio Shack, Kim?
Yes, I do remember Radio Shack.
Oh, get out. I didn't think she would have. I'll be damned.
Yes. Yeah,
I know.
The equipment, the way it came now, the way it is with the what you make, and with thermal, everything that was started didn't start as a ghost hunting equipment. It started as something to do with construction, or with the fire department, or something, with someone wanting the services. Right. So it's interesting how those things turn into now with all the ghost hunting as it used for paranormal investigation or whatever it may be used for. But from when it started to now, how everything just, I guess, changed and made it pretty cool. A little easier to carry one piece of equipment than 15 pieces of different equipment.
Yeah, now somebody else can struggle through making it, and I'll be quiet. Yeah. You don't have to struggle through making it yourself.
That's cool.
I see where Mary Beth was talking about doing something with feathers. I've got it's a peace pipe that a person did a 3D print on. So it's a peace pipe. I've got it on an artificial log, and it's got feathers on both sides of it. And it's like at Lake Shawnee, it's very much Native American down there. Mm-hmm. And so we're looking to go back down so that we can, again, see how it goes down there with it. But it's love the ideas, because that's the best part of any of these shows, being online, networking, being at vendor shows, is the fact that people will talk,
Right.
If you're hesitant about talking, please don't be hesitant about talking. Throw your 2 cents into the ring, because you might have the golden 2 cents, honestly.
Yeah.
Right.
I never discredit anybody.
All you need one idea.
Yep.
All you need is that one idea. You mentioned Lake Shawnee. What's that, West Virginia?
West Virginia, yes. The abandoned amusement park.
Oh, I've been wanting to go there so bad.
We went there. It was a few months ago when we went down there, and the person that we went with, she goes there regularly, probably 4 or 5 times a year. She's very consistent about going down there. She's an amazing individual, Jacqueline. And the last time, though, and you never know what somebody might drag to a location or bring to a location or conjure up at a location or whatever. But we got into some really different stuff that's not typically there. And it was neat to see the difference of the way it interacted. And there's a lot of different devices out there. Everybody's got what used to be the spirit boxes. Now there's like 5 or 8 different things that are called a spirit box. I like the SB7 spirit box, and then the portals are the same way. Also. But she's got one, and it was pretty cool, because when things went south, I had walked away, and then things went south, and they called me back, and I come on, and at the time it was the women there. And this was getting very rude, what was coming out. Definitely not coming over any radio stations, the words that were coming out towards the women. Kind of a dead giveaway that it's not radio station. But it was really getting kind of nasty towards them and everything. And then I always keep a case when I'm treating a location or when things are going south. I try to make sure I do some protection. And it was funny how quick first it's, you hear these voices, and it's like, well, he's not the Pope. And then, oh, he's into Christianity. But it was calling out the stuff that I was doing, which was really cool. So when you have that type of interaction spontaneously, that's really neat. But Lake Shawnee is an amazing place, and it's got some crazy history to it as well.
West
Not just
Virginia
an
has some of the
abandoned
best
amusement park.
places, you know. West Virginia
Yeah.
does. I mean, Trans
Yes.
Allegheny, I've been there a couple times. The what do you call it? West Virginia Penitentiary, I've been there.
Yeah, Moundsville, yeah.
Yeah, Mansfield. Mount was it Mountsville?
Moundsville, yeah.
Mountsville, yeah. I've been there a couple times too. But Shawnee, everybody, when I go down there, you got to go there. You got to go there. And I haven't got myself to go down there yet, but I would like to try that one day. It's one of my places I would love to go to. Yeah, it's an amusement park that was for kids. You know, you see the stories and stuff like that. Yeah, but you know, I also like to find new places because some of these places are such they are investigated to death.
Yes.
No pun. No pun.
Yeah.
Well, my wife and I just bought a house actually because of some friends of ours they do the ghost tours in Gettysburg, but they really hadn't been going on investigations. And then during one of these ghost tours, this young lady starts telling about this house up in PA and just what's happened at this location. It's not a very big house or anything. It's a 2-story, 3-bedroom. And ultimately we ended up buying it because the gentleman that we bought it from, he bought it from a woman. She was an elderly woman, but she was in the middle of baking a cake, and whatever got to be too much for her, she turned the oven off and walked out. That was it. She was done.
Really?
And this gentleman will not come inside the house for nothing. I thought he'd want to see the improvements or anything we've done. He will not set foot inside this house. He was, nope, Katie barred the door, here, almost give it away type thing. It was like, but he didn't want somebody who didn't know what they were in for to get a hold of this house.
Mhm.
He was very conscious, morally conscious about that, which is,
yeah.
I had a location before where it was a realtor, and a realtor's like Rob, he called me up. He talked to my medium at the time. She bought the house. She bought a house from him previously. So he hit her up first, and she's like, oh, you got to call Rob. I can tell you what's there, but I don't deal with it. You got to deal with, talk to him about that. And so he hit me up and he's like, Rob, I've sold this house, the same house 3 times in 1 year. I can't sell it again in 1 year. I was like, well, way to have some morals. Okay. I mean, my gosh, people were just up and leaving everything they had because they were so intimidated by this house.
Wow.
That was a good one. That was a good house though. That was crazy good in my way, but the next owners that came in never had an issue. So.
Right.
Yeah. That's weird. Sometimes people don't have issues. Some people do. I think it's because the person, the person's energy can attract what's ever there and bring it forward. There might be something always there, but the new people came in don't have the same energy that, but then they might have something going on and they just don't notice it too. Start being
they don't pay
moved,
attention.
stuff like that, And the way we are, anything, we go in a location and the bottle's over here, and the next minute you come back, the bottle's on the other side of the room, and you're like, how that happened? It's like we notice things very quickly, and we notice the littlest things. So that's why sometimes I think they say, oh, we don't notice anything. There's nothing happening. So I believe that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to read that real quick.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Jenny, you're dropping the ball. We're going to have to dock you.
No, and to Mary Beth's point, it's like the spirit box. I was talking about that a minute ago. She's making a comment about the spirit box. The spirit equipment you have to learn, including the spirit box. I'm talking about the SB7, and this is just my opinion. Mind you, everybody can have their own opinion. This is my opinion. Quit going through stations slow, and it is sweeping through radio stations. But if I'm sweeping through 10 to 14 stations a second, and I point at Kim and say, "What is her name?" Should Kim come through that radio at that point? I'm not broadcasting. I'm not. Somebody's got to be. Again, the first time her name comes through, we throw it out. Then I say, "What color is Jenny's shirt?" And it says black. Okay, now you got to start wondering what the hell's going on here. Yeah. Okay. Right. Turn around and say, "What has Anthony got on his face?" And you hear glasses. what the hell else do you need at that point?
Right.
You're just never going to believe at that point.
Validation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. It's so relevant. Yeah, exactly. And
But-
it's beyond coincidence. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to move beyond it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's like using a
maybe it could be
whiteboard. I use
coincidence,
whiteboards.
but still,
a
know.
whiteboard?
Use a whiteboard. Take a whiteboard with you. You don't even have to announce it. You write the number 10 on it, for instance, and just show
Right.
it and say, what is this?
Mhm.
And 10 comes through the spirit box.
Right.
For example, you want to keep making it harder because you want to prove to quit trying to prove to anybody else, prove to yourself first.
Right. Yes.
Prove to yourself. Now, how in the hell how did 10 come through at the same time? And again, the first time you get something, again, take that out, make it harder. Elite is part of is my team name, Elite Paranormal Society. Elite, I'm very competitive. I do want to be the best. I want to shoot for it. Doesn't mean I'm going to be. Doesn't mean that God knows that I'm going to know everything or anything like that. But I do want to try to do the best I can do, whether it's for a client or anything. So I always want, so if I'm trying to get better, I don't want just, okay, you get a random word that happens to come through the spirit box that's very clear, completely clear. I can't associate it with anything. And half the words that do come through, you can associate to almost anything because they're just very generic words that come through. And yeah, you can put it to anything. Yeah. It's like the phone apps. My wife was using a phone app and there's things that are hitting and whatnot, but I have also, of course, we have plenty of equipment. And I happen to have, we're up in the living room and my wife's asked me beforehand, says, well, how can we increase the activity here? Because I've cleansed here before when my medium lived here. It just got to be too heavy for her. So I went ahead and got rid of everything. JC, whatever. So things have been very flat in comparison. So then my wife's like, okay, how do we make things, she wants to experience nothing bad, but she wants to experience more paranormal activity. So I said, the more you investigate, the more you open it up, the more times you're hollering out there, hey, is everybody there? Anybody there? Eventually somebody's going to say, yes, something's going to happen. And so we started doing this and then some things started coming through her app. And I'm like, okay. And it's word association. We immediately try to associate something to whatever word we hear. It's human nature. But I'm like, okay, look, to Maika was pointing this out earlier because she remembers us talking about this. I said, look, if you're really here and you're talking through this app right now, seriously, I got to have something that's like right here. And it says Luna. Well, our cat, Luna, black cat sitting right next to us is Luna. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay. I gotta have something more than that. That's one time. Mm-hmm. So I was like, no, I need to have something more than that. Marie. Well, that's my wife's name sitting next to me. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, who is this? Raymond. That's my dad. That's on the other side. I was like, son of a bitch. Well, now I got to take it away from the app. I didn't have a wonderful relationship with my dad when he was on this side. So I didn't expect this, but he's been here before. So now, okay, I've got this other equipment. So let's go ahead again. Let's move away from just the phone app. Let's see if anything else happens. I'm like, all right, if this is dad, let me just, when I name your favorite son, light up that lantern. And when I got to his favorite son, that lantern lit up. It hadn't lit up before that. It didn't lit up afterwards. I'm like,
oh, wow.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
You're like, okay, now see, it's true. He was your favorite son.
That's right.
That brings up a good point about the non-locality of spirit, right? Because you're in there trying to create extra activity, which I have had people request, how do I get more activity here? And it's the same thing. You just interact more. You interact, you ask questions, say agreed. Don't bring some object in that is haunted to increase your activity there. You can if you want, but I wouldn't recommend that. But yeah, if you want to interact more with your spirits in your house, communicate more. Anyway, but as you were having that intention, somebody else came through. So do you feel like, now this is just a hypothetical question. Sure. Do you feel now that Raymond would be in that space and being invited into that space to increase the activity there? Or you think it was just non-locality? He was taking the opportunity to communicate.
Yeah, I truly think he has been here one time before, and it was him apologizing, which was really bizarre. Trust me when I say I would not expect it from my father by far. And my medium was living with me at the time, and we were in the kitchen, and all of a sudden she was getting a cup of coffee, and she's like, I'm your blood. and she just would spout out, which there's things that come to her, and I know it at this point. She spout out what she gets, and I'm your blood. And then she talks a little bit more, and I'm like, my grandmother. She's like, yep, it's your grandma. And I knew who it was, which I don't get those feelings. It's really weird. She doesn't know my history of my dad. And all of a sudden, boy, when she started letting out about everything, she got to a point where she's like, don't you got to go to work? I don't want to feel this anymore. But it was his remorse. And, and I was very forgiving. I mean, I'm not a jackwagon about it. I'm not going to be like, oh, still holding a grudge. My God, you're on the other side. Go do what you need to do. But it was really cool because her not having that knowledge, and yet there was very specific information coming through. And again, God bless everybody is gifted that actually shares that. I think it's an amazing feeling that you get, because I know that was truly him, and I know he was truly remorseful for it, which while he was alive, he wasn't. But again, that gave closure to that chapter of my life, which was amazing feeling, And she never knew it was going to come because she was in tears. She just wanted to go away. She was like, I just don't want to feel this anymore. Stop.
Yeah.
But again, thank you so much for anybody who's gifted that shares it with others. I mean, that's amazing. Yeah. So I think he can come. I think he knows he can come if he wants to. It's not like he's not welcome. He understands that. So
yeah.
I don't think he's not like he's going to stay here and just be stuck here or be stuck only in that one place. I believe very much, to Anthony, to your point. Once they learn to get to the other side, it's transitional. It's like the Grim Reaper. I hate the term the Grim Reaper. The boatman, the ferryman, I love so much better, when you go to a couple of other religious beliefs or paths or whatnot, because the Grim Reaper is not actually there to kill you. You're dying already. You're leaving this part and moving on. It's your escort. And how many times in like hospitals, I bring it up a lot, because in hospitals, nurses, doctors and whatnot, you could have an 80, 90-year-old man and he's going, mama, and he's reaching out for somebody. And next thing you know, he perishes. But he's like a little kid hollering for mama. He sees mama. To him, that's mama, and he's going. Nothing. He's not like, oh my gosh,
Yes. Yeah, you're right with that. Yeah,
I truly believe that.
Yeah. I had an experience with my father too, coming through one time, and my father and I really weren't, there's a lot of history there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And I had a friend that's a psychic that him and I were doing an event for soldiers that commit suicide. So we were talking on the phone about stuff. All of a sudden it starts coming through, and he just brought up. He goes, "Oh, Josephine wants to say hello." And I'm like, "Okay." Josephine was my cousin that passed the week before. She's my mother's age. And she goes, Josephine wants to say she's with Mary and Ro. And my grandmother's Mary and my mother's Rosemary. They called her Ro. So he goes to this whole thing. I'm like, this is weird. This is weird. Then he goes, there's a man coming through with a mustache, and he's saying he's sorry. So bless you. And I'm like, who's that? And he's like, well, he said, I think he's your father. He's wearing glasses. And then he goes, his name is Rosario. And nobody knows my father's name is Rosario. They know him as Sam. Who's the name Rosario?
Wow.
Okay. I'll go a little further with this guy, because and then he goes, Rosario, your father wants him to let you know he's sorry for all what he put you through when he was alive and everything. And he just wanted to apologize. So my wife's next to me, and I'm going to try and make this short, but my wife's next to me, and she's like, what's going on? What's going on? And he goes, this is Cecilia wants to come through, and she says hello. My wife, her grandmother, Cecilia, had passed. And I'm like, now he's reading my wife next to me, and he's on the phone with me. So she's like, son, bless you. And he goes,
bless you.
Princess is here, and she's with Ernie. Princess was her dog, and Ernie's the guy who gave her the dog. And I'm like, she's like, and I'm telling her, and she's like, oh, and she gets all nervous. She calls up her mother. Yeah. She calls her mother, Mama, this guy's reading me, and he's bringing up Ernie, and he's bringing up Cecilia, and he's bringing up Penn. And then he goes, Anna's here too, and she wants to say hello to her daughter. Anna is my mother-in-law's mother.
So it's a party. It's a party on the other side. Wow,
he's,
they're all
he's on the
together.
phone with me, getting me contact, speaking to me. Then he's speaking to my wife next to me, and then my wife calls somebody on the phone, and he's reading the person on the phone.
Wow.
So it's like,
That is
man,
awesome.
that's some long distance call.
No kidding.
Yeah, but
Wow.
my father came through to apologize for all the stuff he put me through. So I know what you're talking about with the mail. But that
Nothing
was,
you could ever expect. I mean, when
yeah,
it hits you like that
exactly.
and you start hearing all that, it's the last thing you would ever expect.
Yeah. My father wasn't a
Right.
person to apologize. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Same.
Yeah,
Yes.
you know what I mean. He just did, and that was it. The consequences.
Yep.
But that was
Gosh.
crazy how that happened. But
That's amazing. What a read. Wow.
Yeah.
All of
that
that.
was a read. And I wasn't on the phone reading. We were talking about what we're going to do at this event we were doing for the soldiers that commit suicide and everything. And we were talking, and it was like, whoa, that came out of
Holy
nowhere.
cow.
And the whole thing is, I met him like a month before, so he didn't know all that. He didn't know my mother. He didn't know my mother. He didn't know anybody in my family. He just knew me. I think he met
Yes.
my son, and that was it.
Yeah, be pulling those names out like that. That's awesome.
Exact names. I was like,
Yeah.
what? I was amazed. I was really amazed. But
Yeah.
I want to put your if anybody wants to get any stuff from send it
Oh,
to
yeah.
you. I'm going to put on the screen if you want to say add it, and Jenny if you want to put it in the chat. But this is
I do.
how to contact him to get any of the equipment that you've seen. Which I all this equipment is pretty cool, really cool.
Yeah, we
So
have an
that's
Etsy page. If you're interested as far as in getting anything, you can definitely check out our Etsy page. It's 24elite.etsy.com.
Jenny, can you
So
put that in this?
Yep.
And then the website looks like it's eliteparanormalsociety.com.
yeah, that's for our actual, that's the investigation side. So the 24 Elite is going to be for the building side, 24elite.etsy.com.
Gotcha.
That's cool.
Okay.
You get your equipment.
Anybody
I
has
love it.
questions? I mean, feel free to ask them. If you have questions, you got suggestions,
Yeah,
it's
I
all
mean,
good. The
Robert, do
idea
you
is
have
to
any
let people
events
be able to
coming up?
actually have something that's going to help them connect to the other side. That's really where it's at.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have like Kim said? Do you have anything coming up that you want to, so people could come see you?
Actually, we do not have anything really scheduled coming up right now. We do have a project we're going to be working on that you'll be seeing online here before long, Speaking for the Silent. That I'm looking forward to moving forward with, but we'll get more details out on that. But right now, it's actually one of our quiet times, in comparison. I know we got the year coming up before too long. We do a lot of different vendor events, but right now it's pretty quiet,
Yeah.
thankfully. Kind of
Yeah.
nice to have a little break.
Yeah.
into the
After the
holidays, I
spooky
see that.
season.
Yeah, hopefully, I'll probably see you at some of the events coming up.
Yeah.
Are you doing Hanover?
No,
Average?
not. Like I say, I don't have anything on the books yet until the beginning of the year. The earliest we're looking at is probably, I think right now, we have something I have to see whether or not we're going to do something in February or not. But right now it's putting a lot of effort right now into that house that we're kind of trying to decide what to do with, because I love the activity that's there. It's like when we first went into that house that we just bought, the first 2 times we investigated there, you can't run for 30 seconds without hearing all kinds of crazy EVP sounds, whether it's voices or sounds. And now I have an understanding with who's there, and it's like boring as hell. So I'm hoping other people, like one of my team members, not so much for him. He doesn't enjoy it too much being there.
If you're interested, send me some pictures. If I see anything, I'll draw it for you.
I would love that. That'd be great. I'd be glad to. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Send me if you have some pictures of areas, active areas. Yeah, or not an active, so you can see if I'm really doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah. If you get, again, what I don't want, I never put an expectation out there. If you get something wonderful, if you don't, no harm, no foul. It doesn't mean that you don't have or can't do, and that should be for everybody. Nobody should have to have expectations put on them. You just put what comes to you,
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And then maybe in the future we'll get you on the show and we can talk about the house.
That'd be great. Love it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
know?
Maybe we could give Kim some pictures to
Yeah.
read.
Send me some pictures
Yeah, she
or
does remote
address.
readings.
But between the
does
two of you,
Really good reading.
Jenny, do you have abilities as well? That you
No.
claim?
No.
Well, I think everybody has
No.
abilities.
The
I
answer
think
is no.
everybody has.
I agree.
But-
We're all to a different level, even though we try to go
Okay.
ahead and say no,
My
we
level
don't.
is very low.
I think.
But I
think-
like you, I rely on them. Like I rely so much on Kim and Anthony and our other friends who are sensitive, you know, because I don't know where to start, right? You walk into a place and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
where do
in
I
big
go?
places.
And
Yeah.
you know, it's a direction, you know. But like you said before, I also don't like to. You don't want to go like this. Like you don't want to take something that Kim says and you want it to open up, which is one of the things I was going to compliment you on. I love your progression, you know, because it's your progression opens up rather than closes off.
Yes.
You know, and Anthony mentioned that before. I really like your style, Robert, like the way that you open up. You're like, let's try this now. Let's do this. Let's go here instead of like, okay, let's focus in on this one little thing to death, you know?
Yeah. Great point.
You got to go where it leads you. I
That's
feel
right.
like, right?
One of the greatest gifts I have is I was able to go ahead and match my medium up with a gentleman, and he was a sketch artist in India. So he was able to draw a lot of what my medium has seen. And either she's got the most vivid, crazy imagination, which is not her. But the details are amazing of what even the little boy, Jeremiah, it's so cool because again, he thinks I look like the man that took care of him. So it's kind of that we have that connection every time I went to that location. But to be able to see what he looks like to me it's great. Kim, you can see or feel or have pictures, same thing, Anthony. But for me, I can't, you know, unfortunately for her, like at Christmas, you know, I was doing all the blankets and the cups with all the different pictures. And unfortunately, some of them are not very. She's like, why do I have to live through this again? I've already seen this, you know. For her, it was real. To me, it wasn't. So, but sketch artist, man, it was amazing to be able to see what you guys actually see is an incredible treat. It's very special.
Yeah, thank you. It's
I mean,
Well,
I have to
would
agree
say
with
just open your
Go ahead.
imagination because I think you'll see more than what you believe you can. If you are as open with what you believe you can do and not say, well, I can't. Because I think you are seeing Jeremiah and you do know he's there. And that's already one of the senses, knowing that he's there and communicating. And you open that up and just be curious with it.
Love it.
And Jenny does have abilities. She just keeps it closed for whatever reason. And Jenny, when you go in, it's not that you got to start somewhere. They come to you.
Yeah,
They do.
They come to you.
Okay.
You don't have to start anywhere. You walk in, they want you to know that they let you know.
I always say that I don't have abilities, but I have empathy. Like, I always try to put myself in the position of someone who's dealing with, you know, Spanish flu or, you know, trying to just feed his family as a farmer or, you know, I try to like put myself in the position of the person I'm investigating.
Love it.
You know,
love it.
But
I think
that's
great.
just an empathy thing, not really a sensitive thing.
So we are coming to 2-hour mark.
I know, 2 hours. Shoot, like that. Like that.
You know,
Holy cow, that might be the fastest show ever.
That was fast.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have you did go by quick.
Right?
I want to thank everybody in the audience for showing.
Yes,
you guys are great
everyone.
with questions, and I mean it's amazing how everybody in the audience comes in, and you know, we're not here for us, we're here for the audience pretty much. But we are here because we like doing what we do, you know. And
we learn so much.
Like
I learned
Robert,
a lot.
I mean, it's awesome. You know, I'm glad I got to meet him and everything at the, you know, at Gettysburg and Maine and everything. So it's pretty cool that how it works out. You know, it's like full circle that you get to meet people and say hello, you know. And I also want to add tonight on anybody. We got 990 subscriptions on this network. We want to get to the 1,000 mark. We need 10 more. 10 more. So please subscribe to Earth Radio, please. So, I mean, if we get all these people to subscribe and stuff, maybe we get some more shows like this on, more paranormal shows, and there's other shows that are actually on Earth. But if you want to try to get more shows like this on there, maybe we could bring the numbers up. Okay.
Yep.
Also,
ERRT.
ERRT Radio. Here he goes.
Yep, there it is.
Okay. So it's a 2-hour mark. So I definitely have to say, okay, you guys when you guys go on investigations, you guys got to go out there, be safe, try to be safe as possible, because you want to look for ghosts. You don't want to be a ghost. Hey, forget about ciao familia. Good night.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you for being with
Thanks,
us tonight.
everybody.
Thank you, Robert.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for
Robert.
being
Thank
here.
you again.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Hey, how you doing?